You're listening to Chameleon Church, biblical antidotes for the modern man, with your host, Allan Aguirre.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 17th. You're watching the Chameleon Church Show on the Messianic Radio Video Network, the Lamb Radio Video Network. That's what it says right there. And it's Tuesday. We're in mid-November. I guess next week is Thanksgiving. That thing we do here in the U.S. And what else is going on? My name's Allan Aguirre. I'm your host, coming live and direct from the Wasatch back here in northern Utah. And before you forget, don't you forget to like, if you're on YouTube, if you could like this, thank you, whoever just liked it. And also be sure to comment. That apparently helps with the algorithm. And subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Hit that little bell. Or see, if I was cool, I'd say smash that bell, smash that like button. That's what those YouTubers say. They talk like that. It's too early in the morning for me to start talking about smash and stuff. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications. And what else? So we have, our new calendar's out. Our new calendar's coming out. We'll be shipping that next week. And so if you guys remember, if you bought the devotional journal calendar last year, we had a little introduction to it that was like this size, field notes size, about 36 pages and all that. Well, what we've done this year is the calendar is actually a standalone piece, and then the devotionals are separate. The field manual will be the devotional from here on out. But the new calendar is going to be 170 pages, but in this field guide size, and it's going to have a spiral bound, a tight spiral bound, so it'll be able to lay flat, which is going to be awesome. It's a 66 week because we're starting in January. So it's actually bigger calendar than last year. 66 weeks, January 2021 through April of 2022, because next year is a leap year. So that's why it goes through April. Also, you'll have the 2-page monthly planner and a 2-page weekly planner for all those weeks, 66 weeks, with all your projected new moons, your Sabbath, your, Omer count, and the entire feast cycle for the coming year. Very excited. We're shipping those next week. And here's what's really cool. So most of you have probably seen my traveler's journal that I have. It's leather, real leather. It's really awesome. If you know about these things, you put these inserts, like I was showing you. You put inserts like this inside, as many as you want, and they're connected with these elastic bands. As you can see, there's elastic bands. So what I've done is I've untied the end of this elastic band so that I can slip my spiral bound new calendar that I'll be getting next week in here, in this actual leather traveler's journal. Then I'll be able to tie it back up. I'll be making a video of this, and then this will house my calendar that we're coming out with next week. And then, of course, there's stuff that you can buy, like card holders and business cards and little inserts. Again, they're all connected with elastic bands and stuff like this. And man, I'm so excited. So I'm talking to the owner of this company. They're called Wanderings. And I'm talking with the owner of this company, and we are discussing coming up with a product discount code for my readers, so that you'll be able to get one of those at a discounted rate. I think that's pretty stinking cool. So I'm excited about that. And anyway, here's the link to the new calendar. I'm putting it up right now. We're having a Hanukkah special. It's going to make a great Hanukkah gift. If you go online, these calendars they go for like $25, $30, $35. Do a search for monthly calendar or monthly planner, or this size. It's an A5 size. These things are going for like $30 or whatever. We're selling these for $15. And right now we have a Hanukkah thing going on. If you buy 4 of them, we'll give you the 5th one free. And these, again, they make great Hanukkah gifts for your friends and family. It's really difficult to do this messianic lifestyle without a calendar, and we provide you with one. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. We love creating these resources for you. And so that's, yeah. So buy a stinking calendar. So we've got our co-host for the Chameleon Church Show, Pastor Lenny Perata, Vineyard pastor, and the Canadian guy. He's some rabbi from Canada. How's it going, guys?
It's going well.
Morning.
Thanks.
Going well.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah. As good as it could possibly be going.
as well as it could be going at this time.
Rainy morning up here.
On the eve of destruction. Remember that song? Who sang that song? Come on, Lee. I know you know it.
Barry McGuire.
Yeah, Barry McGuire.
Isn't that his only hit?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a song called "Too Fat to Fly." Christians, they were too fat; they weren't going to be able to fly in the rapture. Yeah. Well, you guys say hi to everybody while I read these comments.
All right.
Okay. Rod Buster. That's right. Morning. Look at those people. Good morning, everybody. Hey, so boy, what a weekend we had. Those tolerant, non-racist, non-fascist, non-bigoted. It's time for peace and healing, people. Really showed us what they're made of over the weekend, eh? Man.
Only a
Serving
million
the
people showed
firecrackers
up
for
in
dinner.
Washington.
Okay, you guys were talking over each other. What'd you say?
Said only a million people showed up in Washington or something like that.
Yeah.
The number.
And some bad hombres on the BLM Antifa side too.
They're on payroll still, and what are they going to do? They still got to work.
Well, they got to work. They got to pay their bills during the shutdowns and the stimulus packages and the Craigslist ads that they've answered.
Listen, Soros hasn't run out of money. He's still paying. Oh, sorry. Is that going to get us banned?
Maybe. I had an actual family member attack me 2 weeks ago online publicly because I said something negative about Soros. He called me an anti-Semite. And I'm like, I'm anti-Semitic. I was anti-Semitic because I said something negative about Soros.
When did he become the poster child for,
For them?
Well,
as soon as they decided?
No, but how is it that all of a sudden that I understand criticizing Israel, you can be accused of anti-Semitism, but Soros? Like, how is he representative of the Jewish community? Most of the Jewish community can't stand the guy. He was a traitor with his father during World War II. He actually handed over Jews. The guy has done nothing except undermine Israel. He actually funds pastors who support the Palestinians instead of Israel. So how is it now that saying anything against this clown is anti-Semitic? It's infuriating to me.
I don't know. All I know is that the family member that attacked me personally, I forewarned them. I actually called their father and go, hey, your son's talking smack about me publicly on Facebook. You want to take care of it or do you want me to take care of it? And their answer was, here's their answer. Their dad's answer was, he's an adult. It's none of my business. I'm like, okie dokie. See, that's why your son's doing that, because you're not fathering him. If my son had done that to his relative publicly, well, but that's why my son wouldn't do it. And so I had to go talk to him. I spared him, man. I gave him mercy. I immediately unfriended him, which means he can't see me and he can't interact anymore to save him from saying anything worse, So he came after me personally. I mean, like, dude, you know what? You're not even old enough to drink, dude. I suggest you keep it. Anyway, I'm like, yeah. So in 1 week, I was called a Kabbalistic Jew, Dominionist Kabbalistic Jew, and an anti-Semite, all in like 24 hours. I wish they would make up their mind. They're confusing me.
A Dominionist Kabbalistic Jew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to think about what that even means.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe Eureka over here can help us out.
So apparently, I was either a Dominionist or a Kabbalistic Jew because of whatever I was saying about whatever I was talking about. Yeah. These people, man. I'm telling you, the worst thing, the internet is the greatest thing in my lifetime. It is the greatest tool. Man, if I had this thing in the 80s or even in the early 90s, danger, man. Oh my gosh. But I didn't. I had to do everything the old school way. My point is this. It is the greatest tool in my lifetime. My biggest beef about the internet is it's given every idiot on the planet a voice, an unvetted voice. My voice has been vetted. I've been doing this for close to 40 years. Being a public, figure guy. My voice has been vetted over and over. You know what I'm saying? Any dumbass. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Mark. Did I just say that out loud? Oh, dude. Sorry. Every Muppet with a computer and an internet connection now has a voice, vetted or not. So it's like the worst thing. Oh my gosh. Dominionists. Yes. A lot of us that are that believe in the seven mountain prophecy are considered dominionists because we want to dominate the world, even though Adam was given dominion over the planet, and Jesus came back and took the deed of the earth back and then gave it back to us. So it's another example of biblical illiteracy. It's like, oh, that prosperity gospel. Well, yeah. Every time I read the Bible about God's blessing over me for my obedience and because of his love for me, you prosper. The prosperity gospel is whatever, that's what they call it, is biblical. They just, again, biblical illiteracy. But you know what? You know who doesn't like the prosperity gospel? Poor people.
Well, there was a pastor who teaches on, he has a course called Wealth with God, and it's phenomenal. Like, the guy goes into more detail than anything I've ever heard before. But he said that he one time asked an accountant, he has both Jewish and Christian clients, and he said, which of your clients are more successful, the Jews or the Christians? And he started laughing, and he says, the Jews by 10 times. Yeah. And he says, why? He says, because most of the scriptures regarding prosperity are in the Old Covenant.
Yep.
And Christians don't study those things.
No.
So
they're afraid of money.
Yeah.
If money was from the devil, you'd have lots of it.
Yep.
It's not from the devil. It's from God. It says so. Absolutely. In the Bible, it says so. But anyway, so you know where we get the name Chameleon Church from? So Chameleon, Deuteronomy 8:18, it says, I will give you the power to make wealth. That's what God's telling Israel, Deuteronomy 8:18. The word power in the Hebrew is lizard, and then that word, if you keep breaking it down, is chameleon. I will give you the chameleon-like ability to make wealth. And if you continue to break that down, it says, I will give you the chameleon-like ability to make something out of nothing, to work with the substance of creation, wealth. Asa is the make, and the kuat is the power word in Hebrew. It means lizard, chameleon. No, so yeah, we're not Chameleon Church because we're part of some serpentine cult. I've actually have been accused of that too.
Kundalini spirit.
Yeah, I was asked, well, why would you ever call your church after an unclean animal? I'm like, that Lion of Judah guy? That's an unclean animal too. You dumbass.
You don't want to be calling your church the lamb, the flock of lambs or something like that. Because
Man.
gosh,
These people. So my wife was watching the news yesterday, and every time I'd walk into the room, I'd have to leave. I couldn't stand it for more than 2 minutes. It was triggering me left and right. Just the thoughts in my head right now are triggering me. I've said DA twice, and I didn't say, and that's not Daniel Amos. Lenny, you gotta jump in here and cut me off. You gotta save me, man. Sometimes you gotta throw me
I enjoyed it so much. I love it. This is classic.
What?
This is classic.
This classic
This
Allan?
is classic. I love it.
you've been dealing with this for how many years now?
Exactly. He's learned. I just watch him.
Just sit
I just
back
watch
and
him
drink
burn.
coffee and listen.
I just
Well,
watch him.
I'm pretty sure Lenny knows that if you don't let yourself, empty the tank, it's just going to come back
It's
some
just
other
gonna get
time.
worse. No, Lenny's like going, "Oh, I'm just watching him crash and burn. I've been watching him crash and burn for years. It's entertaining." Oh my gosh.
No, it's great.
Oh man.
It's
So,
real.
Alan, I got to ask you, in the in this thing of spiritual, you talk about the church that you went to that had the stone walls and you couldn't get in.
Oh, so
What was that all about?
okay, so I have a backsliding moment in my life. Took a couple 2 or 3 years, and it took those 2 or 3 years took like a couple decades to fix, to correct. I mean, maybe less than a couple decades, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, you backslid for 2 years and it only had 2 years of repercussions. No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm living with my girlfriend. I knock her up. She's pregnant. And so before I get to this stone wall thing you're talking about, while we're pregnant, we were prior to that, I was kind of like visiting a church. Anyway, so we went to this church and we were like, hey, we need some counsel. We need some advice. We've screwed up. We're not in a position to be pregnant, or we don't have money. We're not like jobs. I'm trying to carve out a career. This is very early at the beginning of my career here in the States. And the pastor's advice was get an abortion.
Yeah.
And so we're like, we're out. Never went back. Tap out. That's your advice for a bunch of stupid kids. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have this baby, this little baby girl, this little blonde little baby girl named Shondell. And I looked at Christina and I went, look, I can't do this. Like, it's bad enough that I've made the choices that I've made, the bad choices that I've made. It's bad enough that, you're an adult. You've decided to come along for the ride. But this little baby girl, she's like innocent. She's an innocent bystander, and she's going to have to deal with these really bad choices that we've made. So I can't live with that. So we need to repent. We need to, because we're both Christians that are not walking. It's not good. We're living together and kids out of wedlock, and we need to get our act together. So we need to find a church. We need to go get saved. We need to repent. So we go to a church. So we start visiting churches in our town. I live in Burbank. I'm from Burbank, California. It's the media capital of the world. Johnny Carson, NBC, Warner Brothers, Buena Vista Pictures. I mean, I'm in the right place to launch a career. So anyway, so we go visit a church, and the childcare was apparently, so Shondell's like, I don't know, 8 to 12. She's like anywhere between, let's say she's a year old, let's say. I'm trying to remember how, Shondell was a little baby, right? When we showed up to the vineyard. She was barely a year, maybe, if even. So anyway, we show up to this church, and put the baby in the nursery, and we're sitting there and listening to the guy preach, and I kept going like this, looking to my right. I did that like 2 or 3 times, and Christina was like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, I go, can't you hear that? She's like, what? I go, I can't hear the guy preaching because the screaming that's coming from the walls. The walls are screaming so loud, they're drowning this guy out. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, we got to get out of here. So we went and got the kid and left. We're like, okay. And then I don't know how many days, was it the next Sunday or weeks later? It was probably weeks later. I mean, this was it was a large amount of time. It was months. I was trying to find a church. And so we were, I shared that with a friend of mine who actually shows up in the narrative a couple times. His name's Bill in the Facebook. And he goes, hey, I know of a church, up on the hill. You're going to love it. So we woke up one Sunday morning. We're going to go to church. We drove up into the mountain, the Verdugo Hills, and showed up to the church. We were running late. Parking lot is full of cars. You can even hear the hum of them worshiping inside the building. There's a wall. There's no doors. I'm like, that's weird. So we kind of walk around the building looking for a door to enter into the building. Couldn't find one. So we went back to the main entrance, and there's a wall. There's no doors. I'm literally pushing on the rocks for a secret entry, like a secret doorway. Parking lot's full. You can hear him. You can hear him singing inside. But there was no door. There was literally no door. I don't know. We spent at least 5 minutes looking for a way to get in, and we're just like, I guess we're not supposed to go to this place either. I mean, I can't even get inside the building. There's no door. So we get back into the car. You got to remember, it's 1986, 87. I'm a singer in a band that's working our butts off hard in the LA music scene. It's a dark wave band. I've got blue-black hair, white face makeup, no eyebrows, full face makeup, nail polish. We're wearing black head to toe. We basically look like we're out on our way out to a club. Like, none of you will know what I'm talking about, but like it looks like we're on our way to the Scream Club. And it's, we're again, pasty face, full face makeup, nail polish, black head to toe, and this little blonde baby. And we're driving this old Ford 500 Galaxy or something, Galaxy 500. And we did that on purpose. We dressed, you would say goth. It's actually post-punk. And we did that on purpose because if we walked into a church and they had a problem with that, well, we were gonna have a problem with them. If we walked into a church and they didn't have a problem with us, then we were probably going to be safe because then that means they'll be able to actually work with us instead of freaking on our appearance. So you're in Burbank because there wasn't. And I made the quick, sharp turn, pulled into the driveway, and there's this, pseudo hippie looking guy. I say pseudo hippie because it's 1987. It's not 67. And he was too young to be a legitimate hippie because you have to be a certain age to be a legitimate hippie, and he wasn't. He just looked like him. He looked like a guy named Randy Roberts, and he was in the parking lot. I go, hey. He's like, oh. I'm like, is this a real vineyard? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, all right. So we roll up, get out of the car, and we walk into this YMCA. There's a church being held in the Y. We walked into that church, and as soon as I walked in, I saw a group of real hippies, a family of real hippies. What was his name? He drove an ambulance. Dwayne. Yeah, I saw him and his wife. They're old enough to be. They're old enough to be real hippies, right? And I saw them, and I'm like, and the Lord goes,
still look the same.
Well, they do. So I saw them, and the Lord said, "You're home," and I'm like, and it was Lenny's church, and we were there for 7 years.
Yeah.
So the wall screamed us out of one church, and I couldn't find the door of another, and that's how we found the Burbank Vineyard.
Yeah. That was a journey. The people all look the same too.
I've changed.
Oh yeah, from when you first walked in. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't look like that at all. I've changed completely. See, that's the thing, man. I tell people that you're lucky. You get the 2020 version of me. Imagine if these people were dealing with the 2000 version of me or the 1995 version of me. Oh my God. Or the 1990 version of me. Lenny got the 1987 version of me. I still didn't have eyebrows. I was still going by my pseudonym. Yeah. These guys are lucky, man. They don't even know it. They think I'm a pill now. I just edited myself. Man, you get the 2020 version of me. Very, very different version of all of me's. So hey, what do you guys want to talk about?
I'd say 99%.
You might have to reboot and come back in, Lenny. We're not hearing anything. We're losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's a huge delay between what your mouth and the actual audio.
I know you too.
Me too.
I'm watching the same thing you're in.
Huh. How about you, Darryl? What are you seeing?
It's happening to Lenny. I don't see it on you though.
Oh, okay, so yeah, it is you then, Lenny. Why don't you reboot and come back in? That way you'll be.
You want me to go out and I'll come back in?
Yeah. But reboot your computer. I'll help him out there. Here, let me just kick your.
Bye-bye.